Hello and welcome to the Foxboro BeatSides, the B-sides of the Beatcast. Obviously, you had your episode surrounding NFL topics. John was there. Obviously, he's a little bit of a familiar face coming at you again. But this is the BeatSides. We're going to talk about things that aren't NFL related because frankly, 2023 was a pretty depressing year as far as football goes for me. But tonight on the docket, got some wrestling stuff to go over. This podcast isn't not familiar to wrestling. We've done a show or two surrounding all of that. You guys might remember our what was it? Right after Survivor Series, CM Punk comes back. That was one of the most highly viewed episodes on the channel to this date. So pretty cool. Obviously, got John below me. Right over to this side, we got my boy Elsio. You guys remember him from the wrestling show. There was also an NFL show that he was on. I think it was Wild Card Weekend that you were on that.
Yeah, I believe so.
Could have been week 18. I don't remember. And then Tristin, who's a regular when it comes to the BeatSides. Hopefully we can get him a camera soon so you guys can see his beautiful face. But all that in mind, any opening thoughts, discussions, anything anybody wants to lead off saying hi to the people or whatever? Or do we want to just have me lead us into the first topic? Great. Okay. Tristin, I'm going to pitch this one right to you because I assume that you have a lot of the information right in front of your face there. There was a big story coming out about the WWE and in particular Vince McMahon and some other guys. As we know, Vince McMahon's been known to get into some trouble in recent years. It's led to his step down from the WWE and then a really weird kind of involvement lately. I don't know. The story's weird. The setup's weird, but some more damning things came out about old Vinnie Mac. Tristin, take it away, please.
Yeah, so there was a huge kind of bombshell report from the Wall Street Journal today, where Vince McMahon, everybody, wrestling fans know who Vince McMahon is, no introduction needed. He was accused in a new lawsuit from a former employee of sexually abusing and sexually abusing this former employee and trafficking her to other men within the company. She signed an NDA in 2022 where Vince had agreed to pay her $3 million to keep quiet about it. But Vince allegedly violated the terms of the agreement. And the goal of the lawsuit is to void the NDA and sue for financial damages. Here's an excerpt from the Wall Street Journal of saying, when they met, McMahon allegedly made promises of a job at WWE and showered this employee with gifts and stuff during meetings that were supposed to be about the job. He greeted her. I'm trying to find a way to keep this. There's a lot of really explicit details in this.
Yep, there's a lot of graphic information.
I want to find a way I want to find a way to let's go scandalously clothed. I was repeatedly asking for hugs. And then he had pressured her into sexual activities in return for employment and warned her to stay quiet about these interactions. She began working with the company in 2018, which was a position created for her by Vince McMahon in the legal department. She expressed concerns that the job felt unearned, but Vince told her that all she needed to do was not tell anyone and that it, quote, just has to look legit. Colleagues complained about overflowing inboxes, but this former employee didn't really have much work. Meanwhile, Vince sent her a lot of sexually explicit messages, and his sexual demands increased. As a matter of fact, there's a lot of screenshots out there right now of some wild.
Yeah, Vince McMahon, he was unhinged in the DMs for sure. Trigger warnings for those who
absolutely. I'm not going to read the texts.
No,
These
please
texts
don't.
are ridiculous and poorly spelled.
Just the absolute, just some actually degenerate stuff.
He's too rich to remember how to spell.
But yeah, there's the gist of it is he used his position of power to pressure this former employee into having so I realize I haven't even said her name. The former employee is her name is Janelle Grant. I do want to make that clear. And a lot of these yeah, like I said, a lot of these claims are really really tough. But one thing I do want to mention here, and this is something that I think is kind of important because Vince obviously looks terrible in all this. I think we can all agree, under the jail.
Yeah, hasn't good in
But
a
there's something
couple of years
I want
for
to point
him.
out.
Hasn't been a great couple of years for him.
Yeah, I want to point this out because if you guys remember, there was a lot of stuff that came out about him last year, 2022-ish, right? And there was supposed to be an investigation within WWE, the special committee and stuff. Um, and the Wall Street Journal included this in their report, mentioning how Stephanie McMahon was part of the special committee. And the Wall Street Journal, there's this excerpt I'll read right quick. Um, the Wall Street Journal says, in this capacity, Ms. McMahon publicly affirmed, or this might be according to the lawsuit, but in this capacity, Ms. McMahon publicly affirmed her commitment to, quote, doing everything in her power to help the special committee complete its work and to implement its findings. She also declared the, quote, importance of a safe and collaborative workplace. Notwithstanding this public statement, the investigation was a sham. According to the lawsuit in November 2022, WWE touted the conclusion of the special committee investigation into the misconduct, yet the special committee never even bothered to interview Miss Grant, the former WWE employee, the victim in all of this. Nor did they request any documents that Miss Grant had, despite the fact that Miss Grant told a special committee and anybody who was doing the investigation that she was willing to cooperate.
So they didn't even interview this woman when
They didn't.
when it came out, and they had to investigate Vince for all these monstrosities.
They completely they didn't even talk to the victim. Didn't even bother to ask to talk to the victim. It was just we'll kind of investigate Vince's story of all this. It seems. No, I don't know. I'm just that is like whether they did more than just talk to Vince is kind of speculation at this point, I guess. But according to the lawsuit, at least, they didn't talk to Janelle Grant, who is the person making these accusations against Vince, who would be the victim in this situation.
And obviously, there are some other details of just what exactly Vince had her do and the certain things that Vince did, naming toys after superstars. You get the idea that I'm trying to paint here without going too R-rated.
Yeah, we don't want to.
Yeah, it's a damn shame, and who knows what happens to Vince beyond this point. John, I guess I'll kick it to you here. What do you make of the fall from grace for Vince McMahon? I guess is the best way to put it. I mean, not only this story, but the story from years past. I mean, wrestling as a whole, as far as the Vince McMahon surrounding goes, hasn't been in a great spot, obviously, and this doesn't help.
They say the best version of a character for a wrestler is your own personality cranked up to 11. Apparently Vince is even worse than his character in real life. Like those text messages are something else. I'm not going to talk about anything that's in them, but you should go check them out. He's ridiculous. I mean, I can't say I didn't expect it because I mean, like, look at him on TV, but yeah, I could have never anticipated it being this bad.
I mean, this guy was a guy in the early 2000s on live television, had his employees kiss his bare ass.
Oh, yeah, multiple people. Yep.
The Vince McMahon Kiss My Ass Club. Elsio, you got anything?
Well, to say Vince McMahon is a bad person would be an understatement. It's been a thought for years, even in the early 2000s before all this came out. most people would probably assume Vince to be not very pleasant to be around. But I thought it was bad enough, the first go round when the hush money allegations came out. But this adds a lot of new depth to it. It's a bad look for the WWE, even if he's not been involved of late. And, I hope the former employee wins her suit and is able to pursue criminal charges.
Yeah, you summed it up pretty perfectly there. It's hard to really expand upon this because one, we've known how gross Vince McMahon's been. We've known for a little while now. Um, Honestly, I need to take like 4 showers just to like wash my brain out from all this. So if anybody has anything to add, please take the floor. If not, we'll go right to the real wrestling topics we have on the docket.
Yeah, real quick. There's something I do want to address because I've seen this a few times. It's not extremely prevalent, but there are a lot of people out there who are defending Vince McMahon.
Of
I've
course.
seen on social media.
Of course.
There have been a few number of very loud defenders of Vince McMahon and Brock Lesnar. Well, I probably should mention that.
Hey.
Yeah, I know.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. But for the Vince part especially, the one if I'll say this, if you don't think that first of all, if you think that what Vince McMahon allegedly did, and if you think that what he allegedly did wasn't bad, I can't speak to you because that's just there's a disconnect between reality and wherever you are. But I will say this: if you are of the opinion that this isn't something Vince McMahon could do, may I remind you that this is a man who, on live national television, had Trish Stratus get half naked and on all fours and bark like a dog, and who regularly would regularly write storylines where he is just having like the most wild and over the top makeout sessions with every woman on his roster.
He's wanted to write storylines involving incest with his daughter too.
That was another thing I was gonna bring that up too. There was a like a pitch storyline where he and Stephanie would have a thing, which like this is a depraved man is kind of what I'm trying to get at the end of the day. There's no real ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's right there on television. This is this is a man who was so so much craved attention that he was willing to fake his own death for views until an actual death happened.
Yeah.
So yeah, like if you think what he did was fine, can't reach you, you are seek help. But if you think that this is a small being person, no, it's not. This is the situation where we need to really be white knighting for Vince McMahon. I'm sorry.
I mean, I've seen people defend Vince McMahon through a lot, the steroid scandal, all that. This isn't those, while those were bad, this is a lot worse. Like, if you're really gonna defend a man, I don't know what to say. Like, good luck getting anywhere in life because you're unhinged and insane.
Elsio, blunt and straight to the point. Let's get to the real wrestling topics. Obviously, before we get to the main event of this show here, which will be surrounding Saturday's pay-per-view or premium live event, I guess is what they call it now. The Royal Rumble on Saturday. Some big news hit the waves of wrestling on Monday. Main eventer superstar Seth Rollins, major knee injury. I forget what the official diagnosis, torn MCL and a ruptured meniscus or whatever it was. Some pretty serious injuries. He's going to be out 3 to 4 months, I think he said, but he still intends on wrestling at WrestleMania. So I guess the main question I would pitch to the group to think about as we go around the table here. Elsie, I'll start with you because we had this conversation on Monday. What would you do if you're booking Seth Rollins for the next couple of months? What are you setting up? What are the pieces that you're going to have in motion as far as the World Heavyweight Championship belt, and what you think should and what you think will come about it if there's two different minds? And obviously, if you have any initial reactions to the injury and how we got to this point, I mean, go for it. Elsio, I'll just start with you because we had this conversation on Monday. What do you think should happen with this, and what is going to go down over the next couple of months as we get closer to WrestleMania in Philadelphia, I think in April?
I appreciate you starting with me because, as you know, Seth Rollins is my favorite all-time
All
wrestler.
time.
You have obviously for the next 2 to 3 months preceding Mania, you need Rollins really promos only, not taking bombs or delivering power bombs or working house shows. None of that, because such an injury you don't want to aggravate it. So there's a couple things you can do because obviously during Raw you've had Gunfer come out, call his shot like Babe Ruth back in the day, say the Rumble was his and that he would choose Seth. You could do that. You could. Gunfer's very good. He set the record last year, right, for the longest time spent in a Rumble. So
I
it's
believe
not
it was like an hour
unbelievable.
and 8 minutes or whatever it was, something like that.
Yes, it's not unbelievable that Gunfer could win a Royal Rumble, have a nice little champion versus champion match, or leaning into that, going a different direction, though. It seemed like they wanted to set up Seth Rollins versus CM Punk early on, having the now I would say safe to say worked reaction of Seth with the return of Punk, and Seth kinda telling Punk this was the house he built while Punk kinda ran away, went home for 8 years. You could have Punk win, uh, set up Punk versus Seth for night one. Otherwise, you'll have to really work hard to get some segments across with your chosen opponent if they don't win the Rumble.
Do you
Just
have any doubts about his ability to actually make it to Mania and have a and then and put on a good match without hurting himself again?
I would say no, just because I felt like they wouldn't put in the promo that he was going to be at Mania if he wasn't. Uh, Hopefully, with the clearing, they also mentioned, you'll be totally healthy by this point. Like, you're not going to aggravate this.
All right. So, Tristin, we're just gonna go right around the room here. What would you do? What do you think? Basically, the same set of questions I asked Elsia here. They're all yours for the to sink in.
I think it's kind of interesting that I felt like if they were it seems that they're intent on having Rollins be the champion heading into WrestleMania. If they weren't, I think that he probably would have lost it Monday night. And, like have Damian Priest cash in. I actually think that probably should have been the way they went. I think Kaleb, me and you and Elsio had this discussion when we talked last, like Sunday night or something. But I think if you want to keep it Rollins, right? You want to keep like Seth Rollins goes into night one as the world heavyweight champion. Whoever wins the Royal Rumble should not challenge Seth Rollins. And this is my reasoning behind it. Unlike with Roman Reigns' title, right? I feel like there are so many viable contenders for Seth's championship that it is a natural place for the Elimination Chamber number one contenders match, because you have, if Sami Zayn returns on Saturday, you've got him. If you still have Drew McIntyre, you have Jey Uso, you have Gunther throwing his hat in the ring. And you can throw a couple other ones in there. There are enough, like, if you want to have, like, if Punk doesn't win the Rumble, you could put Punk in the chamber. You know, if somebody else wins the Rumble that's not Punk or Cody, you could throw Cody in there. Although if Cody's facing Seth at Mania, I'm not sure how I necessarily feel about that.
I don't love that. I don't
Yeah,
love that as you
but
pitch it.
there are so many people. You could even throw Finn Balor or Nakamura in there since they've faced him before. There are so many people there's so many people that you can look at on the roster, and even like guys a little bit lower down the card. Like, wouldn't it be cool to see Chad Gable be thrown into this? Like, maybe not win the shot right off, but like put him up there and like get the fans like thinking
I
like,
think
oh,
we
Chad
just need to
Gable.
give him the Intercontinental belt. Damn it!
I
But
think so too. Um,
thank you.
but I think that whoever wins the Rumble probably shouldn't. I would book the number one contenders match in the Chamber, because I think also that kind of gives you a little bit more time to figure out who do you want to face Rollins at Mania. Because I think as important as Rollins' health is, the person he's fighting at WrestleMania is probably also going to be important, because you want him to face somebody that won't cause him to blow his knee out again.
So
So making sure that you
we
have
can
the right
expect
person
not
in
to
that,
see
in that
Jinder
match.
against him in the next couple of
It's
months.
probably not Jinder, yeah. So like I think that that's probably how they should go. Now, I also think that I will say this to an extent. I think it's kind of weird you have Gunther challenging for the world title, or at least stepping up into that role, right? Like, he should be there. I'm not saying he shouldn't be. He is 100% one of the best, if not the best wrestler in WWE right now. But he is also holding the only title that can be defended right now, because Rollins has the world title and he can't wrestle on Raw for another 4 months. So what do guys like Chad Gable do? What do guys like Jinder Mahal do? What do these like mid-Carter guys who are looking to fight for something do now that the title, the champion that they could go after is tied up in another title program, or tied up with like another championship? It's,
A little
I don't know,
awkward.
it just feels very
Very awkward.
hello? Can you hear me?
Now I can. Yeah. Awkward.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what happened. You guys just kind of froze. But I'll summarize. It was basically, I don't know why they had Gunther come out and challenge. Oh,
Okay. I'm just gonna take the conversation. Tristan, unmute yourself when you're ready to go. John, pitching this question right to you. The whole Seth Rollins thing, what do you make of it? What do you want to see? What do you think should happen? You know, the whole 9 yards here. Take this question and run with it.
In terms of like whether or not he should be able to wrestle at WrestleMania, I'm not totally certain. Because with tears like that, you definitely, and especially with the style that he wrestles, he lands on his feet a lot. He rolls out of that Phoenix splash, lands on his feet from the turnbuckle. Like, he lands on his feet when he does the stomp, lands on his knees when he does the pedigree. Lot of stuff involving his legs. Which makes me believe he's probably gonna be fine. Like, I don't think they'd let him wrestle a match if they didn't think he was gonna be all right. In terms of like the opponents, God, I don't know. They should definitely let him rest on the way to it. Like, it's all promo work. Don't really want to see him doing any bumps.
I honestly
Rest,
think maybe you don't even have him show up at anything at all
not really.
until you're confident that he can go.
He's like canonically injured. Like, in the storyline, he's even, injured. Like, they acknowledge it. So like putting him there anywhere at all doesn't really make a lot of sense. Like I said, he could do promo work. That's about it. And they
What do
might
you
have him
think?
do that just because people like singing the song. So
What do you think of a couple, like, assume that everything goes well and he's healthy going into Mania season? How would you kind of set up what's gonna happen with his big title match at WrestleMania?
yeah,
Just like in your ideal, John Alvin Pierce is the new booker for WWE. Writing this up, what do you think would be the best case? In a little brief synopsis, you don't have to go as in depth as some other nerds might.
I think Seth ends up wrestling Punk anyway.
You think you still stick with it?
Yeah, honestly. Yeah, I just think Cody can get that done with Punk somewhere in between there. Um, but yeah, I definitely think it ends up being Punk.
No, I mean they've been building that up for a couple of months since Punk got back. I think it's the good move. Obviously, Seth getting hurt is a little unfortunate,
Yeah,
and puts a little, a stick into the wheel of things here. But um, of course, a lot of this is riding on whatever happens on Saturday. Whoever wins the Rumble is going to have a huge impact. Whoever wins the world title match is going to have an impact. So we'll just get right into it. Let's just rip the band-aid right off. Let's go right into Royal Rumble here on Saturday. Obviously, it's a four-carder as far as we know right now. Only four matches going on, two of them being the big Royal Rumble matches. The other two, I'll start off with the lead one. So we're gonna go. The first match is gonna be the U.S. title match. I think that should probably kick off the show between Logan Paul and Kevin Owens, who had this kind of set up thing that came out today at the training center where Kevin Owens is jumping in the ring and fighting him at the training program, whatever. If you guys haven't seen it, it's on WWE's Twitter. I saw it earlier today. Then we're gonna go to the female Rumble, which I admittedly might not have too many thoughts on. Like I know who I want to win, but as far as who I think's gonna win, it's a complete cluster, I guess. Then we'll talk about the which one should we? We'll figure it out later. But let's just get off to the U.S. title match first. Logan Paul, Kevin Owens. It's been a great setup so far. I'm sure we're gonna have another layer coming to it on Friday on SmackDown. We're gonna go in reverse order now. John, going right back to you. What do you think about this match? How they set it up? How they've set it up so far? And who do you think should come out of that with the title?
I think Logan's gonna retain because I think Logan's carrying it all the way to WrestleMania just because Logan's gonna carry it all the way to WrestleMania with promo work. He's gonna have it in on his podcast. He's gonna have it wherever the hell he runs around. It's gonna be a win for him. Um, the match should be good too because Kevin Owens is a really good wrestler. Logan Paul is weirdly a really good wrestler, and yeah,
I'm totally with you. I think Logan Paul does a lot for that championship. It gets a lot of people tuning in. It does. Whether you feel good about Logan Paul or not, he brings in the ratings. Tristan, what do you think about this feud so far? As long as you're back with us and good.
Well,
what
I
do you,
hope I'm good. Do I sound okay?
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
yeah,
so
you're
far,
good, man.
I mean,
Alright.
I won't hesitate to mute you again if
I
you.
have no idea what happened there. You guys all just kind of froze, and then I got a thing saying unstable internet connection. So
That'll
my
do it.
apologies on that.
That'll do it.
Uh,
So same question I pitched to John here. What do you think of how they set it up so far? Are you a fan of it? And who do you think's coming out of Saturday with that championship? And yeah, all that.
well, Kevin Owens is one of my favorite wrestlers going right now. As a matter of fact, he's the only wrestler who I have a shirt of. Um, I don't. The thing is I just don't know if I'm really that invested in this because I don't see Kevin Owens winning. I think it's gonna be Logan, kind of for the same things that John said. Like Logan's gonna just put it on his podcast, put it on his TikTok, put it on everything, and then it'll boost eyes to WWE. Now, if I was the guy with the pen and I'm writing this, I think I would love to see Kevin Owens win it here, and then just kind of have like a kind of something similar to Gunther, where he's like willing to take on all challengers type of deal with the title. I think that could really help it, but I don't see that happening. It's probably just going to end up being Logan winning, but I think the match will be pretty decent.
Yeah, I think we're all pretty optimistic for how this match is going to go. Elsio, do you have any differing thoughts, any differing opinions? Do you think this feud's just awful and you want to just crap on it? I mean, go for it.
No, I mean, my only complaint is that this is going to be, Logan Paul's first match with this title. But I get it. He's more of a, special attraction, influencer, that big crossover. It'll be a good match. I think Logan retains, but I mean, not offer one hot take. I don't think he'll win by a pinfall or anything. They've been setting up Logan complaining about KO's arm cast, so maybe he gets Kevin Owens disqualified, or something of that sort,
Or
and
maybe he disqualifies himself and gets
he might
the championship
disqualify
advantage. I
himself.
mean, that's a Logan Paul move, I think.
And
Um,
I don't think this will be the last match we see between them. I think Kevin Owens could very well be his opponent at Mania for this title.
that'd be something. That'd be cool. Yep, I'm in the same amount you guys. Think Logan's carrying this one, and I think, like I said earlier, I think Logan Paul does more for that title than Kevin Owens does right now. Logan Paul seems to be really invested in WWE work. I haven't seen him miss a SmackDown in a little while, um, so this will be good. I think it'll be a good match. I think Logan Paul comes out with it, and like Elsio said, maybe this isn't the last time these two square off. So, all that in mind, let's go right to the women's rumble. Tristan, I haven't started out with you yet because you're just inconveniently in the corner over there, and I'd like to do my my linear rotation. So I'm just gonna kick this right off to you. Women's rumble. Okay. We got two champions for that for the women to challenge, just like the men. I know Rhea Ripley is the main contender that everybody's trying to go after. The Becky Lynch's, the Nia Jax's, the um you know other names. As far on the SmackDown side, I forget who's the champion over there. Can someone
I believe it's Io's guy.
Yes,
still?
guy.
Still?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Tristan, what do you make of this match? Any surprise entrances that you're looking forward to, or any bold predictions about it, and who wins and who's challenging who at WrestleMania? Just fire away.
I mean, to be honest, I think I'll be frank here. I don't necessarily think this is more of a prediction. I'll say it's a prediction just because I I want this to happen really badly. Because I don't know who they're thinking is gonna win this one. There's a few ways I think they could go, but and I don't know how realistic this is, but I want to see Bailey win the Royal Rumble. Because I think that she's got they've got the whole story with like her and with the Joshi contingent on SmackDown with Io Sky, Kairi Sane, and uh uh Asuka. I think she joined that group too, and then you've got that whole dynamic. So like and I know there's been like a huge discussion of like whether or not Bailey could turn face here. Winning the Royal Rumble could be a huge way to spark that. It could be a huge way for Bailey wins the Royal Rumble. She's got this great moment, and she's like, maybe she does like the thing on SmackDown. She's like, of course I'm not gonna challenge you, Rhea, I'm coming after you. But like before she can finish that speech, they jump her. It's like they just beat the daylights out of her, and then Bailey comes back a couple weeks later. It's like, you know what? Forget Ray. I'm coming after you, Io. And then you have like the teacher student type of thing because it was Bailey who brought Io Sky back to WWE. So now you kind of have this kind of full circle moment where Io is the champion. She's got all this stuff going for her, and then Bailey's like, the like I kind of gave you all of this type of thing. I think that would be really cool. Plus, I just really like Bailey. I think Bailey. I don't know if I can't remember if Bailey's won the Rumble before, but I think it'd be really cool to kind of give her this win here and give her like a nice like higher profile match at WrestleMania.
Let me fact check you on the Bailey Royal Rumble thing. I wish that they would just tell me if she's won one or not. Please, anything, something. Scroll down to the
I
WWE.
don't think she has.
What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Yeah, nothing. No Royal Rumble win there.
So
But
I think it'd be cool to kind of give her that first one then.
yeah. Elsio, Women's Rumble. What do you think?
So, I find the Rumble intriguing this year, especially on the women's side, because they haven't really made it predictable. I mean, last year you could guess that Rhea Ripley had a really good shot of winning it, and truth be told, we don't know that many participants, so there's a lot of room for surprises and swerves and all that. I'd like to see Jade Cargill maybe make a surprise entry, debut, win a Rumble match. Some predictions. I think Bianca Belair's going to spend a really long time in that match, eliminate a lot of people, and I think I think they'll have Bailey win it. I'd like to see it too, because you can set up some really great narratives with that, because she can prove the damage control that she does have it controlled, and she kind of realizes maybe Io is the champion she should go after rather than because they turn on her, or she's like Io's the weaker champ, because obviously Rhea's been very dominant. That's what I'm thinking going into this women's match.
Yeah, I'm with you. John, what do you make of it?
Um, I think depending on who wins, it's gonna be Rhea is almost certainly gonna be the opponent, and unless it's Bailey. Io Sky, Bailey will challenge Io Sky. Anybody else, it'd be Rhea. Um, that being said, I'm
Any
not
group
really.
of the Rhea challengers you find the most interesting? Like, would you want to see a Nia Jax versus Rhea Ripley WrestleMania match?
No,
Your
not at
face just
all.
kind of gave it away. And me and Elsio are right there with you.
Yeah, she's very there. I'm still not sure what it is that she does well enough to be there, but she's there. And breaking Becky Lynch's face, I guess. There, Becky Lynch. There, that's my prediction. Becky Lynch will win. And then my prediction for a mystery entrant is Trinity Fatu.
Ooh, that is interesting. I
That
don't
is
really. She hasn't signed a contract extension with Impact yet, has she? Have they
No,
heard TNA now? They're back to TNA. Have they like actually announced that she's leaving? Because I know there were rumors like she was finishing up, but I don't know if it was like officially announced like yeah she's
uh,
gone.
I think she's available. I'm not really sure, but I think.
I will say this. I take no pride in what I'm about to say. They've been setting up this Nia Jax thing like too long for me to ignore it. um, I think there's a solid chance they're gonna have the Giant win the Rumble this go round, and we're all gonna be sick to our stomach.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
just sounds disgusting.
I mean, they've been doing this for they're pushing her. They are pushing her as much as we don't want it.
actively.
Like she just beat the crap out of Becky Lynch on Raw. Uh, she just beat the crap out of somebody else. Who was it? Um,
Bailey was in there.
was she?
Mm-hmm.
I don't
On
know. I mean,
Monday.
Nia Jax is out here just crushing people.
I'm sorry, but if you have Brea go on this just absolutely star making dominant reign over the women's division and it ends in a match against fucking Nia Jax,
There's your one F bomb, by the way.
come on, man! Like,
No,
there's so many other
but
ways we
you're
can
with
do
me, right?
this.
It's a little too potent for to ignore that this isn't a real possibility.
It matters, yeah.
Surprise entrance? God, I don't know. Beth Phoenix still hanging around?
But that's a possibility.
Maybe.
Could be, but like I don't know how interested she'd be in being there without Edge there.
Yeah. Her husband obviously being in AEW, that's a bit of a twist in those plans.
I don't know. I just threw a name out there. Maybe. Um, maybe Lita? Is she still around? I don't know. That could be fun. Uh, Trish, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
They're just tossing some old legends out there from back in the day. But yeah, but this Nia Jax thing, it's too potent for me to ignore. And I'll be the cynic here and says that that's what they're gonna make happen, and we're all gonna hate it. We're all gonna hate it, hate it,
Oh,
hate it, hate it.
real quick, there's one name I think we could probably mention for like a surprise. I don't know if you guys mentioned it. My stuff cut out again.
Go.
What about Mercedes Moné, Sasha Banks?
Yeah,
Oh
that
yeah,
would
that's
be
been
a
talked
good
about.
one.
Because like I mean I know there was the report of not too long ago that like talks between her and WWE broke down, but like what if I mean she hasn't debuted in AEW yet,
Uh,
so I think that's something we should probably keep an eye on.
No, for sure, for sure. All right. Do you want to do championship or do we want to go back to back Rumble?
I think we should, personally, my opinion is we should do the championship because I think we all have the same opinion on this match.
Yeah.
There's really not much to say
Okay,
about it.
so we'll just get this one really quick and out of the way. Fatal 4-way match. We got the king, the tribal chief, head of the table, yada yada yada. You guys know him, Roman Reigns. Him and his goons of Paul Heyman and his cousins. Um, Los Angeles Knight, my boy L.A. Knight. Just he was the most recent foe of Roman Reigns at a pay per view. Randy Orton in his return, and for some godforsaken reason, AJ Styles, who I just can't get my head around why the hell he's even there. But there's your fatal 4-way: Roman, Randy, Los Angeles Knight, and AJ Styles. Like, see, he's so unimportant to me in this match that I just forget he's there. Elsio, let's kick it off with you. Why not? Right? Why not? What do you make of this match? How they set it up? Are you a fan? Who do you think's going to happen? As much as we all
This
kind of figure
match,
what's going to happen.
this match doesn't matter. I mean, it's just, Roman can work, so let's get a match out of him. Whatever, AJ. I mean, AJ Styles was a big deal in 2016 when he debuted. Always gonna put on a great match. I don't remember him being anywhere near the main event before now. I don't know, and sadly, LA Knight's super over. It just kind of feels like these guys are the supporting characters. It's really Roman Reigns versus Randy Orton with these two other guys. Just ignore them. Roman wins. Hopefully in a fatal 4-way he can actually win without bloodline interference, but I doubt it.
Yeah, no, you know what exactly is going to happen.
And I'd say they kind of whenever Roman works again between now and Mania, they'll just have a bit of a program with Randy to get him over the line, get him to Mania.
And I'll throw this question out there, Elsa. You can be the first answer, and then you guys, when we get to your turn, keep it in the back of your mind as you talk about this match. Roman versus Rock. Are we are we seeing that in the next couple of months?
I hope if we do, it's before Mania, because I don't know if The Rock can wrestle anymore. I don't like it. I don't like it for Mania because that just means we kind of got railroaded into a story that they're not going to finish. I I don't like it. It feels dirty to me.
If The Rock is goddamn 50 or however old he is, like that man doesn't have the cardio anymore. He does one little short segment with Jinder Mahal, and he's like right in front of the mic. Tristan, what do you make of this? If you're still with us,
Well, first off, I think you guys are really underselling AJ Styles. Put some respect on the
I
phenomenal
won't.
name.
I
The
won't.
reason why he feels unimportant in this is because he was out with injury for the longest time, and he's coming back.
I forgot.
He's in this match because Roman was part of the reason he got hurt. So, it makes sense why he's here. Granted, he in like the grand scheme of things, like he is unimportant, but he's not unimportant because he's AJ Styles. He's unimportant because everyone not named Roman Reigns is unimportant in this match. I'm sorry. Like even Randy Orton is not that important because Randy Orton's not winning this match. And he doesn't really have much of a chance to win this match. It's Roman's winning. It's gonna be, bloodline interference. They're gonna make the bloodline look strong as hell by, beating up 3 other people. As it pertains to The Rock and Roman Reigns, I kind of want to touch on The Rock later.
Oh God, he's not a Rumble. He's not a secret Rumble
just
appearance, is he?
let me cook when the time comes.
I swear to God, if you have Rock winning the
But
Rumble, I'm gonna
no,
kick
no,
you.
no, 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 no. I don't have him winning the Rumble. I don't have him winning the Rumble. But I do want to talk about the possibility. Anyway,
Vomit.
I think that the best place if they're gonna do that match, which let's be fair, I don't think The Rock makes that comment unless they're doing the match. Because if you have him come back and do that head of the table comment, like you're teasing a match that's not going to happen. You're setting up expectations for something that's just not going to happen, and I think that's kind of dirty on behalf of WWE to be able to get like fans excited for this matches that they've been wanting for like 3 years now that just won't happen. So I think that the best place to do would be Elimination Chamber in Australia. Which I know a lot of people are like, oh, Rock's not gonna do a B rank pay-per-view. He'll do the B rank pay-per-view in front of 70,000 people in a huge attraction show. You know, this isn't like
when the chamber goes up, is it gonna be like 10 o'clock in the morning our time?
Yeah, it's gonna be like really early.
Gotcha.
They're gonna do that live. That's not gonna be taped. But yeah, like I think that that's the best place to do it. And honestly, for that match, I think it should just be a squash. I think Roman should just run right through The Rock because I'm sorry, The Rock can't touch Roman right now. So they should just have Roman just absolutely destroy The Rock and give him that like huge momentum. It's like, oh, the one person who could claim the head of the table, The Rock, died in Australia. Who can stop Roman now? And then you have Neck Tattoo Man, come through with his woes, and win the belt at Mania. But we'll talk about all that later.
John, your turn,
Yes.
buddy.
All right. In terms of The Rock versus Roman Reigns, I feel like he could probably just get that done sometime before Mania. It wouldn't be hard to get him to the Elimination Chamber. Like he said, the audience is a substantially different situation. He's still going to make a lot of money doing that. In terms of this match,
no optimism in the room, is there?
0. No. I can go with like a chaotic answer, like The Rock shows up and runs interference for Randy Orton and he wins.
Imagine that.
That's what I'm going with. The dumbest thing.
That's the only way that this probably ends in a title change is if like The Rock uses like the powers of the Brahma Bull or whatever to like scare Roman half to death and I don't know.
If he's gonna team up with Randy Orton, that feels stupid. Give him a cosign to somebody who could actually use it, like LA Knight. Give LA Knight the Rock cosign.
It makes so much sense because he's just basically ripping him off.
Absolutely. I'm with you guys. It's Roman Reigns. It's always been Roman Reigns. This is a filler match. It's gonna be an awesome match, and we're all gonna be super into it and super enjoying of it. And then in the final 5 minutes, Roman's goons are gonna come out here and just tear shit up because that's what they do. That's what they do. Solo's gonna spike somebody and remove their ability to talk. Probably AJ Styles. Jimmy Uso is gonna do Jimmy Uso thing, sit there with his shit-eating grin, and start punching LA Knight, and that's gonna be that. Roman's gonna Superman punch Randy, 1, 2, 3, match over, and then maybe The Rock comes out and stands above the entrance with a people's eyebrow, going like, "Yeah, I'll see you in Australia, buddy," and then he dips. But yeah, that's about all we have for that match, and obviously the most interesting match of them all coming into this pay-per-view, the Men's Royal Rumble. There are 130 different directions you could go with this. I really hope we all have different answers and different perspectives on this because I think that makes it the most interesting. Who do I want to lead off here? Tristin, you mentioned The Rock in the Royal Rumble. Yeah, please just get it over with.
I will preface this by saying that I do not think that The Rock will win the Royal Rumble. That is
Give me
not
who you think will win too.
My prediction is Cody Rhodes. I think ultimately it'll be Cody. I think that's the right choice. And again, this kind of goes back to my earlier belief of whoever wins the Rumble shouldn't go after Rollins because I think that Rollins, there's so many there's a logical point for the number one contenders match there, and I also feel like that kind of like having Roman just kind of face the guy that won the chamber kind of feels weird as opposed to like the Royal Rumble winner. I don't know. They always like to have Roman's matches that maybe be like these grand spectacles or whatever. So Cody's my pick for the Rumble, but I wanted to talk about The Rock because if they're going to do the match with The Rock at WrestleMania, I feel like the easiest way for them to do it would just be give Rock the 30 spot, have him just kill like two players out the ring or wrestlers out the ring or whatever at the end, and then just kind of like get like the most fraudulent victory in wrestling, like modern wrestling history. That way you don't have to do this like, oh, I'm the Rock. I have like I'm the Brahma Bull. Hey, watch my football league. You don't have to do all these things to get to the match. Like if they're gonna do it, I think the easiest way would just be for the Rock to do that. So I think the possibility has to be considered that the Rock could be a surprise entrant here and could win it to set up that match.
I feel so gross.
I know. But again, my prediction is Cody, and really quickly, two other people that I think that would be kind of interesting would be CM Punk if they wanted to do Seth and Punk, obviously.
Great way to do it.
And one I would love to see. Sami Zayn returns and wins the Royal Rumble and challenges Seth Rollins. I think those are like my big three. But Cody's my firm.
I was fully expecting Drew McIntyre just so I would gag.
I know you don't want Drew.
I was fully expecting that answer.
If Drew's gonna go to the WrestleMania, it's gonna be through the Chamber, I think.
I don't want Drew at WrestleMania. I'm done. Elsio.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of, like you said, there's a million directions they could go with this Rumble. There's about that many we could go talking about it. Like the women's match, we don't know many of the entrants yet. We know about 8. So there's a lot of room for surprise entrances. And I've seen people going all out with these surprise entrance possibilities. I've seen people saying MJF, Okada, all kinds
Dude,
of
I would
crazy
so love
stuff.
MJF at the Rumble. I would.
But
I'll just real quick. I'll throw cold water on the Okada thing because Okada's still under contract till the 31st. Unless he gets like permission from NJPW, which to be fair, they did, like New Japan did give Ospreay permission to sign with AEW ahead of the end of his contract, so maybe.
yeah, I mean,
I doubt it.
maybe. So you got room for these surprises. I mean, you might get your usual, guys people might like now, like X-Pac or someone like that, maybe a Chris Masters, something fun. But there's a lot of directions they could go with who wins this thing. What they should do, it'll feel boring to say because Tristin also said it didn't happen last year. It should be Cody.
Great, so we're all gonna have the same answer.
Cody should win and probably will win, but it's worth mentioning the possibilities. I mean, CM Punk, it would be his first Rumble win, as crazy as that sounds, with how over he was. That would be cool to see. Tristin mentioned The Rock. We could get that terrible, terrible possibility.
Who would you rather have win a Royal Rumble at this point, John Cena or The Rock?
John Cena. And that would be an
I think
awesome
would be cooler.
surprise entry, actually. John Cena.
I don't
but
think I don't think
it
that's the
will
time you're gonna get him. No.
happen. No, but I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing Gunfer win it. It's realistic, but I think it'll be Cody. It should be Cody. Kind of boring answer. I apologize, but
John, what do you think?
Well, I think it's probably gonna be Cody. Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah, the only
Not one of you people.
The only outside one I could think of would probably be Gunther, just because they like made a deal of it just now. But he still got the title though, so like unless you plan on like getting it off of him fairly quickly, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Because you're not going to go title versus title for that. Like Seth's not going to compete for the Intercontinental title on top of him competing for the world title. He'll have to get rid of it. But yeah, adrenaline in my soul, something. Cody Rhodes he's gonna win that. Surprise entrance.
Come on, dig deep.
Zack Ryder.
Yes.
yeah, that would be awesome.
I would be so for that. Okay.
I don't know if he'd come back as Matt Cardona or as Zack Ryder because that's his WWE name, but like he's
Give
coming
Zack Ryder a
back.
second chance. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys all said Cody Rhodes. I'm right there with you. I think it should happen. I want it to happen. I'm here for it. I need it. Insert it right in my veins. CM Punk, I probably would say is the second choice. I'll ride with Elsio on that. Makes a lot of sense. You didn't just bring him back so he could do the same thing he was doing when he quit. Obviously, you have bigger plans for him.
Punk, Gunther, Cody, and somebody's prize is going to be the final four. Making it the
Imagine
final
if
four wouldn't
that's
be.
The Rock.
Ooh, and make Chad Gable.
Chad Gable, yes, put him in the
Yeah.
final four. I'm here for it. I think if you do the Rock thing, you should have Jimmy Uso or Solo Sikoa be one of the final four, so you can have that bloodline insert when they throw the Rock over. It's bloodline related. But yeah, as far as the winning the Rumble goes, give me Cody or give me Punk. It's one of the two. If it's anybody else, I'm really confused. Even if it's Gunther, I'm like, well, I don't feel great about that. So yeah, surprise entrant though. God, you ripped Zack Ryder right from my brain. What's Titus O'Neil doing nowadays?
He's like an ambassador.
Okay. David Otunga?
That could be cool.
That's a name.
Darren Young? No. Big E's been thrown around. I don't know if he's
That'd be
even
cool.
I don't know if he's even close to healthy, but that feels like kind of a realistic one. Given the information that's been given to us in the last couple of hours here, I don't foresee a Brock Lesnar return.
No.
Although it was probably almost guaranteed until today, to tell you the truth. But I think if we do see him, that should probably clear him of the allegations that are being thrown around. Like they're confident enough to put him out there. But
Yeah.
I wouldn't count on seeing Brock Lesnar.
They could also just put him out there because they're tone deaf. To be fair, this is the WWE you're talking about.
Listen, man, I'm trying to have optimism here. All right. So with all that in mind, yeah, I guess that's it. We went through the card.
There's one other thing that I think we should talk about. I can't believe we didn't mention this before the show. We could probably just do this quickly. The WWE Netflix deal.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You guys got your Netflix all set up?
Yeah.
I will by then.
Good. Goes on Netflix for a year. They have the premium live events, the everything, blah blah blah. I don't really know what goes into this. I just know that a lot of people are upset about it.
They're gonna be streaming Raw on Netflix.
Yeah,
starting
exclusively.
25 exclusively.
But what about the PLEs? Are they also
there was some
being
that I saw
streamed on
from
Netflix?
I saw some from Andrew's
I
area.
think they're on Peacock too.
Those might I think that might be like SmackDown's gonna be on cable TV, I think, and they've already announced NXT is gonna be on the CW, I think.
Oh, the CW. That's where all the B-rate stuff goes. I mean, NASCAR just went to the CW, their Xfinity series.
But I think so. Like I think it's like Raw is gonna be streamed exclusive, but Netflix will also carry like the replays for NXT, like episodes of SmackDown, and then like they'll probably also stream they'll either stream or like video on demand the PLEs, PPVs, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, so get your Netflix accounts in order. That's the gist of that.
It's a big deal. 10 years.
It's like 10 years, 5 billion or
It's
something.
a 10-year deal. I thought it was just one.
I think Netflix
That's
has
a
an
long one.
option to extend it by 10 more as well, so it could be 20 years.
What?
20, yeah, it could be
I thought it was a 1-year deal.
No,
10 years.
I think it's like a 10-year. It's like 10 years, 5 billion or something like that. It's like 500 million a year.
Wow. Interesting. Okay. All right, Netflix. Better get your live streaming game up because I haven't seen you live stream a single thing.
No, me either.
Yeah,
No.
don't get too attached to your favorite Netflix series because they're gonna start canceling them bitches out the wazoo to be able to fund this.
All right. Well, That's been your Royal Rumble preview. Many people have asked for it. We have delivered. Thank you, Elsio. Thank you, John. Thank you, Tristin. Thank you for watching, viewer. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow, share with any wrestling fan you might know. Comment your feedback. Comment your predictions. We'd love to read them. Maybe we'll be back after the show if it's super, super interesting. We'll see. We'll see. We're not above an emergency broadcast as we did when CM Punk returned. This has been the BeatSides. Thank you all for watching. We'll be back with your regularly scheduled programming next week.